While we're working here with two unknowns, there are some more programs under that category that I need to tell you about, and the more of them that you can understand, the better. You get higher up on these columns, they're more sophisticated programs. Now, I want to talk here about relations and functions. When you get an equation that involves two unknowns, we have some categories or some vocabulary to assign to them. You know, when you go to the post office and you want to mail a package and you say, I want to mail it first class, if you have the weight of that package, you expect, unless they pass a new law or something, you expect the cost of mailing that package to be the same every time. You expect for that weight, you expect there should be only one price. And that's the way it is with a lot of things in the real world. And mathematicians have given names to these things. Now, I'm going to call up another program in geometry to maybe show about this. Maybe not. Maybe I can do it here. What I'm going to do here is to talk about these words. We can have, if I had some students and just had some kindergarten kids or something, and I had them scribble on a graph or plot points all over a graph at random, and they didn't know what they were doing. No matter what they drew, there would be a relation between the x's and y's of the points that they plotted. If they were careful so that every x had only one y, not that every x had a y, but that every x that has a y has only one y, then we call that relation a function. And then if every y has only one x, we call that a one-to-one function. Now that looks like three sets of vocabulary words: relation, function, one-to-one. And we need to get this vocabulary in our heads. And it's awful to just sit here and talk about them in the abstract, but it'll come clear when we start to work some of these problems. So first we're going to see if we can tell the difference between just a relation and a function, and we're going to ignore one-to-one for a little bit. All right, here are a series of dots. And if I went and wrote down all the x's and y's, I don't even have a graph grid here, so that would be impossible. But if I could, and I wrote them all down, if for every given x there was only one y, we would say that that was a function. And the mathematicians have invented a test to make this possible, to check in your mind mentally. And we call that the vertical line test. And I'm going to show you the vertical line test here. I'm going to take this vertical line that's along the edge of the graph, and I'm going to scroll it across the page. And that vertical line never touches 2 points at the same time. So this graph is passing the function test. And this proves that it is a function. So I'm going to say, a function. You're correct. Let's do another problem. Let's try this one. Let's see. This one's all scattered. Let's see if it passes. See, this line is across the left-hand edge of the graph. If I come passing, it's passing, it's passing, it's passing, it's passing, it's passing, 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 passing. Okie dokie, okie dokie. Okay, 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 okay. We never bumped into 2 points along the same vertical line. So that is a function, even if it's kind of an ugly, random one. New problem. This one, let's see if it passes the vertical line test. It's continuous, but it's never hitting 2 points at the same time. It gets, so it looks sort of vertical, but it's not. It's a function. Again, we saw that one before, so that's a function. This is passing the vertical line test. So it's a function. One of these days we're going to get one. Now, let's see. What about this one? Looks like it is. Let's try this one. Yep. It's random number generator for you. I don't even have to run the vertical line test. I can see it and I can run it in my mind. Yep. Yep. Thinking is, oh, what about this one? Watch. Oh, it flunked 1 point, 2 points along the same vertical line. This is not a function. It's merely a relation, some sort of relative, but not a function. This is a function. This is a function. This is a function. You're thinking you don't have very... Oh, what about this one? Not even getting a chance to... Oh boy, it's failing, it's failing, it's failing, it's failing. It is not a function, so it's merely a relation. You have that? Now, I can add some complexity to this. Usually in Algebra 1, we only aim to have you see the difference between a relation and a function. And some very astute students ask me, Miss Howe, is there a horizontal line test? And sometimes I don't know exactly whether to evade the question or answer it, but I'm going to answer it for you. Of course, there's a horizontal line test. The vertical line test tests to see if we have a function. If we have a function and it also passes the horizontal line test, then it's a one-to-one function. This always sort of reminds me, I should hate to say this, about monogamous relationships. I'm going to check this box over here and see now I've got 3 choices: a relation, a function, and one-to-one function. You can't be one-to-one unless you're already a function. Now, this one is passing the vertical line test. It never crosses the same vertical line twice. It's also passing the horizontal line test. It means for every x, there's only one y, and for every y, there's only one x. So this is a one-to-one function. This is a one-to-one function. This, look at it. Is it passing the vertical line test? Yes. So it's a function. Is it passing the horizontal line test? No, it failed. So this is not a one-to-one function. It's just merely a function. This is going to pass both of them. It's one-to-one. This is going to pass both of them. It's one-to-one. And you can just run these tests and see. You've got to get good at telling, whether looking at a graph, whether we have a function or a relation, or if we have a one-to-one function as opposed to just a function. You should try to get a mental picture in your mind. As you go through your math courses, you will start to see ways of picking them out from the equation itself as it's written, but it's much better to have a visual image of what relations, functions, and one-to-one functions are. I hope that this program will entrench it in your mind so that you will never forget. Thanks. Bye.